Solana. Solana freaked a lot of people out in after the bull cycle crash, particularly with the FTX sort of revelations, because FTX was so, like, an Alameda Research was so heavily invested in Solana. We saw Solana have one of the biggest drop-offs in crypto. However, it has rebounded incredibly well. Solana was one where I honestly was predicting only about $120 a few months ago for the next bull cycle, and it's already at 80 odd. So I think we've got to reevaluate this and take a look at what this can hit. Before I get into it though, guys, if you're new here and you don't know what this spreadsheet is, these are the first 26 coins that I did videos about on the channel. In the videos, I showed myself buying these coins because I expected them to make me very good money. You can see what these coins were priced at when I recorded my videos, as well as the highs that these coins hit around about 16 or 17 months on. You can also see what the profit would have been for you if you'd have put in $100 into each one. And if that's what you did, you jumped on and you put in $100 and then you sat on them for 16, 17 months, and then you sold them, your profit would have been over 123 grand, which is not too bad. Now, I sold all of these. We had the market crash, and then since the market crash, I have been buying up new coins. And these are coins that I think can 40x or 50x my money. And I share them on my website, and even 100x my money. And I share them on my website, copymycrypto.com. So anytime I find a coin that I think can do those kinds of profits, I jump onto the site, I tell my members what the coin is that I'm going to buy, what profits I think it can have, and what percentage of my cash I'm putting in, and they can copy along exactly. What this means is they make the exact same profits as me. Nice added bonus as well, they don't have to do any research. They don't have to read through 30,000 different cryptocurrency projects. They can just copy along because I do all that and my team does that. And if you want to see what the members have earned, you can see that on copymycrypto.com. If you want to see what I've said in the past and what ended up happening, you can also see that on copymycrypto.com. All of it on the site is public record, so you can verify it all on the history of this channel. And if you like what you see, guys, give the service a go. So Solana. Yeah, I mean, in January of this year and in the summer of this year, when it was like 15 odd bucks, and when it was, I honestly was looking at this going, I think it's going to do well to 820, because fundamentally, it went up so damn much in its first sort of bull cycle. And we've seen many cryptos go up a lot in their first bull cycle and never get close again. But we are not even in a bull cycle yet, and this coin is already knocking around 80 bucks. I mean, its all-time high is 260 bucks, so it's only really about 3x away. Now, obviously, there was a lot of fear around Solana after the market crash. We can see the crash, and then we had the FTX, huge FTX fallout, which caused an even bigger dump for Solana. Now, Solana is a layer 1. It's incredibly fast and it's incredibly cheap. Its project effectively provides the perfect sort of environment for DeFi projects. The project began in 2017 and it was launched in 2020 by the Solana Foundation that are headquartered out in Switzerland. It's designed to facilitate dApp creation, and it's aiming to improve scalability by introducing a proof of history consensus combined with the underlying proof of stake consensus of the blockchain. Because the hybrid consensus model, Solana enjoys interest from small-time traders and institutional traders alike. A significant focus for the Solana Foundation is to make DeFi accessible on a large scale. As I said, the founders are effectively the foundation, but it began with Anatoly Yakovenko, who's probably the most important person behind Solana. His career started at Qualcomm, and he was a software engineer at Dropbox. Then he would later work on Solana, teaming up with Qualcomm colleague Greg Fitzgerald, and they founded Solana Labs. attracting a ton more of Qualcomm's colleagues in the process, and the Solana token went public in 2020. The consensus, like I said, very, very interesting. It was developed by Anatoly. It allows for greater scalability, which in turn boosts usability. Solana is known in the crypto space because of the incredibly short processing times. It's very, very fast, as I said. It's insanely cheap as well. It's intended to serve both small-time users and enterprise customers alike. One of Solana's main promises to customers is that they will not be surprised by increased fees and taxes. It is worth noting that the way they built their system was to ensure that there was not going to be gas wars like we see with Ethereum. The downside to the way in which they built their system was that if there are backlogs in the overall transactions, or if there is congestion within the network, what they will do is the network will switch off, switch back on. And that does mean that Solana has experienced actual downtime, like network downtime. That's not necessarily a great thing. It's like a reboot of the network. Me personally, I'm not a big fan of that. Like, I'm certainly a big fan of the fact that, it's not going to cost me $1,000 to move some, money around and stuff. But the fact that they can switch on and switch stuff off, to me, is a sign that we've not got a very decentralized system. The launch they've had a lot of interesting stuff happen within their own network. Their aspirations is to be the Visa of crypto, but their network has been plagued by repeated outages that have impaired its aspirations to do that. They have put in fixes for this, but obviously we've not been in a bull cycle for a couple of years, and we're not really seeing network outages because we're not seeing the level of use that we see during a bull cycle. So that's really going to be the interesting thing, is do they experience outages again when we're in a bull cycle and you've got millions more transactions occurring? And hopefully the answer is no. I know their fixes, they believe their fixes have worked, so we'll see about that. The overall ecosystem is massive. The two fastest growing ecosystems in crypto over the past 2 years have probably been Solana and Avalanche. In terms of DeFi, they've got a lot of interesting stuff. Weirdly, Solana is now starting to really bang into the meme genre. There's been a number of meme cryptos that have launched that have done rather well. They've also had a lot of NFT stuff that's done quite well. There was the launch of the Degenerate Ape NFT collection, which sent SOL price to a new all-time high in July of 2021. I don't know what it is about these fucking apes. I don't get why people give a shit about these ape pictures. It just, to me, it's bollocks. But whatever, right? Whatever. Now, the DeFi ecosystem for me is a big plus. I think Solana could, in theory, be phenomenal for gaming because they've got such an incredibly fast network. Issue, again, is going to be, look, you can't have outages when you're running games. You just can't have them. That's a big problem. So I really hope that they are not going to be plagued with those kind of issues again, because I think this could be phenomenal for games. Helium also moved over, which is a huge plus, because Helium is a very, very strong project. And as of right now, you've got Steppen. I know Steppen's rather popular. Well, it was popular. I don't know if it still is popular. But they've got about 93 plus projects that are gaming based. So hopefully we're going to see some significant growth in that sort of realm for Solana, because I think if the outages are done, there's huge potential there. As for what this can hit, I honestly didn't see a new all-time high. We know there was a lot of issues here. Sam Bankman-Fried was heavily invested in this. This was part of Alameda Research. is part of the FTX bankruptcy estate. Obviously, FTX are going to be able to sell off a lot of their assets to give back to creditors sooner or later. So a lot of Solana in theory can be dumped on the markets. The SEC is also alleging that this is a token. I don't take the SEC too seriously, but potential for price suppression is always there. The fact that it's pumped so much in the past 3 months makes me think price suppression is not going to be an issue for Solana. So where do I think this lands? I mean, I think it's gotta, from the fact that it's hit $80, the fact that it's only, a third of its all-time high makes me think it's gotta hit a new all-time high in the next bull cycle, because it shouldn't be this high this soon. So, when I'm looking at this, I am thinking this is probably going to hit about $300 or so. Like, if its all-time high was around 260, you're looking at about 20% bump on top of that to get to around $300. Not quite. The maths is not ideal there. It's more like 15%, I suppose. I think $300 is now it's at this kind of price point. The fact that it's done this, I think 15% is incredibly achievable. 15% north of the all-time high. So I think $300 is incredibly achievable for Solana. Are they going to do more? Maybe. I mean, maybe. It's going to depend on growth. Obviously, price is being pushed high at the moment, but I do expect that over the next couple of months, I think there's got to be some level of pullback. I don't think we can keep going prior to the Bitcoin halving. And I think, we always see a black swan event sooner or later. So maybe that's just going to take till, February or March of next year. But right now, I think Solana is ready to rip in the next bull cycle. I think $300 is very, very, very achievable. Can it do more? Like say yes, but what that will actually boil down to, from my perspective, will be more to do with what businesses they onboard. Because the founder Anatoly, is correct in that this is built for not only users but for enterprise level companies, right? Enterprises could absolutely use this. Users are going to come here same way that users flock to Binance Smart Chain. It's very easy, it's very simple to use, and it's really nice in terms of being quite cheap, very little cost in transactions. But I think the catalyst for Solana doing something even more special than, say, $300 is going to be, what big ass companies can they land? Because they will land some big companies. And if they can land, Volkswagen, BMW, Audi, I don't know why I've gone to cars. I'm not even a car guy. Apple. I was trying to avoid the Apples and the Googles. But if they can land some of these big ass companies, I think that's the thing that pushes this onto the next level. But yeah, I didn't think this. I thought with the Alameda fallout, I thought with the FTX fallout, I expected that they were going to have some serious issues. My assumption, what they say about assumptions, I made an ass out of myself. So yeah, I think $300 is very achievable. Let's see if it does any more. I'll reevaluate this when it gets to 200, and then we'll see where we're at. Maybe I'm going to be saying in a month's time, no, it's going to hit 1,000. Who knows? But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you use Solana, are you a fan? What do you think about the outages? The outages, for me personally, they bother me a lot. They bother me as a concept, and if I was a game developer, I wouldn't want to come to a place where the network can die. Like the network can drop off. That for me is a big negative. So let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. Guys, if you just want to make the exact same profits as me in the next bull cycle, you can head over to copymycrypto.com and check out the site. That's the site I share all my investments with the members on. So anytime I find a crypto that I think can do a solid pump, like a 40x, a 50x, a 100x, I buy that coin. And what I'll do is I'll jump onto my site, I'll tell my members about the coin, I'll tell them the profits I think that coin can have, I'll tell them the percentage of my money that I'm putting in, and they can copy along exactly. It means they make the exact same profit as me. It means they don't have to do any work. There's 30,000+ cryptos. They don't have to research all of them because myself and my team do all of that. And if that sounds good to you, making the profit without doing the work, head to the site and see what it's all about. You'll see me talking about Phantom in 2020 when no one was talking about Phantom. You'll see me talking about a terrible DeFi coin that I was encouraging people to leave that did crash and die. Or if you just want to see what the members have made. Everything is there, and it's all on the history of this channel, so you can confirm everything that you see and you read and you watch. And if you like it and you want to give the service a try, I'll see you there. And that's it from me, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.